Hello and happy Earth Day. Welcome to the Tarot with Titania reading for the week for April 23rd to 30th. I'm hoping you are all well. Where I am, we've had amazing sunshine and it's been such a blessing. Creator, this is your daughter Titania and I'm about to do a group reading for the collective highest and greatest good. My intention is to be a clear channel for the information that is most needed right now, and to provide that in a manner that will be easily and effortlessly heard, understood, and integrated for the highest and greatest good of all listening now and in the future. I call upon my higher self and the higher selves of all those listening, as well as an overlighting angel of communication to facilitate this exchange and ensure that we cover what needs to be covered in the time that we have together. I'd like to invite the four archangels to come and hold the four directions around us, creating a sacred container of light, of love, of clarity, of wisdom, of peace, of transformation, of healing, of anything that is in our collective heart and mind at this time. I invite Raphael to hold the east, Michael to hold the south, Gabriel to hold the west, and Uriel to hold the north. Thank you for coming. We set the tone for clarity, for ease, for transformation, for peace, for healing, for all that is in our collective heart and mind at this time. And anything that doesn't match these frequencies of light and love is welcome to go now. Okay, let's get started. What do we need to know for the coming week? What will serve our highest and best expression of the highest and best aspect of ourselves? What will help us to be all that we can be and more? Okay. Past, present, future. Foundation card. Let's start with the recent past. The influence is waning, but it continues into our present, into our future. This is the card of signals. So this is Wands, which is creativity, inspiration, and passion. We have this woman who's standing at the bottom here, and she's receiving these incoming signals that are blooming as they reach her. It's sort of like this eruption of information, this eruption of beauty, this eruption of passion, this eruption of inspiration, things that are blossoming, that come to us and bring us new life, bring us new ideas, bring us new possibilities. She's standing on a rose, which is the symbol of love. And so this very high frequency of loving intention, of for the good, of the greatest good of the self, the greatest good of the collective, and this incoming inspiration. And so with this card, it's great if you are giving yourself permission to be creative these days, if you're giving yourself permission to receive inspiration and are open for it and asking for it. And I mean, the greatest way of doing this is just to start engaging in something that inspires you, something that you love to do. And then it's when we go to that creative zone, that creative space, the gates open and ideas start to come and inspiration starts to come. Being creative is a meditative practice in its own right. It takes us into that receptive, open state, and we are channeling in a way. I really do believe that the creative process is a form of channeling. So as much as possible, spend time there, because you'll be receiving positive information, positive affirmation, positive inspiration. All of those good things will come by spending time in your creative expression. And that's in the recent past. So ideas are coming to us. Inspiration is coming to us. This exchange of ideas with the universe, this exchange of possibilities with the universe is inspiring us and moving us forward. The present card is a card of romance. So here we have the card, as we've seen before in the past when this is turned up, this idea of a romance with life, of our being in relationship to life. And how are we cultivating our relationship with life? Are we resentful? Are we complaining? Are we making life wrong? Or are we deeply appreciative and loving the things that are showing up and grateful for our wonderful experience, the abundance that's coming to us, the exchanges that we're having, our relatedness to others, and all the gifts, the many, many blessings and gifts that surround us. We have a choice about how we're looking at our experience with life, our experience with each other. So this is an important card in our present environment, is cultivating this dynamic of conscious relating to life, directing it the way we want it to go in terms of our attention. Where our attention goes is where our energy is going to go and create possibilities. So it's really important to dwell on, it's like the cup half empty, the cup half full. You get to choose how you're looking at your life, and you can shift it. You can intentionally shift it. You don't have to remain in a negative or diminishing sort of headspace. You can always choose to be in one that adds to life and augments your joy and your celebration of your experience with life. So romance with life. What is your dynamic life with life? Are you spending time cultivating that relationship? Near future, card of work. This is a wonderful card. Often when we hear the term, or the word work, there's sort of this implication of heaviness and harshness and difficulty, but this isn't the energy of this card. This card is more about the pleasure that comes from a job well done, the satisfaction coming from completing something and doing it well, doing it to the best of one's ability. This card here, you see we have the two women and they're carrying the basket between them and they're having a lovely chat while they get their work done. It's the sense of enjoyment and fulfillment that comes from doing things well, doing things in the company of others, and appreciating and enjoying that experience and that process. So here in our near future, we have this quality of work, this calling us to step up and to do the things that need to be done, but to do it in the spirit of appreciation and enjoyment. It's like this rejigging of our relationship with life. We can rejig our relationship with all the things that are on our plate to be done. We can do them with a different attitude, and we can do them from a place of celebratory enjoyment. And in the process, there's that well-being that comes. Pentacles is about money and financial affairs and the material world. And so doing that well, taking care of what needs to be taken care of, sharing the burden if need be, but doing it so that everybody wins, so that it's a better thing, And again, coming back to this idea, don't bother complaining. Complaining is a waste of life force and energy. Instead, look for what's there to be celebrated. Look for what's there to be appreciated. Look for what's there to be grateful for. Always, to the best of your ability, turn your attention to that energy, because that will transform your whole experience from heaviness and difficulty to one of enjoyment and satisfaction. The foundation of the reading. Why are we having the reading this week? Well, we have the card of seclusion. Now this card, we have a Buddha sitting in the middle of a little structure. It's this return to ourself, return to our connection to the source of all, this taking time apart, taking time to ground, to access the broader, wiser part of us. That's the energy that's sitting in our foundation card this week. So we know, anyone who has had a meditation practice or some kind of mindfulness practice knows how helpful and resilient and supportive it is to have such a practice, because it just brings that groundedness to every other aspect of our lives. And so this week we're being reminded to take the time. The name of the card is seclusion, but it's more this idea of taking time away, taking time apart, taking time to go within. And that can be going for a beautiful walk in nature. That can mean sitting in a garden. That can mean meditation. It can mean yoga practice. It can mean Tai Chi or Qigong. Anything done with that mindful gathering of the self to the self and being in that stillness will be so helpful and supportive, allowing us to receive the inspiration that's coming our way from the universe, the gifts that are coming our way, helping us to reframe our relationship with life and our relationship with others so that it's positive, and reframing our experience of the idea of work. The chop wood, carry water. I mean, this is part of being human, is we need to take care of ourselves. We need to provide for ourselves. And reframing our approach to these things so that we're celebrating this and appreciating that we can do this. We have the physical capacity to, we have the mental capacity to, we have the ability to, the financial wherewithal to be able to do these things. And so doing them with that reverence, bringing a reverence and a sense of appreciation of life to all that we do. Loving life, loving it, making everything that we do an act of reverence for our relationship to life. And that can be so deeply and beautifully informed by this taking time within, going within, finding the answers, becoming still, becoming peaceful, and learning to rely on that connection to our broader, wiser self, which just, as I said, makes us more resilient and capable of adjusting and adapting easily in these strange times. The way through is within. Starts there. How we need to conduct ourselves. We have the card of celebration. This lovely, lovely dance with life. We have these three dancers who are enjoying the beauties of life. They're dancing on roses and rose petals. There's a lot of the hearts. There's a symbol of love. It's this dropping into our hearts and coming at life from that place of appreciation for all of the beauty, all of the blessings, all of the gorgeousness that surrounds us. Even if your life isn't perfect, seek the things that are. Seek the things that are working. Seek the things that are beautiful and meaningful, and give your life contentment, satisfaction, purpose, and celebrate them. And that can be acknowledgments, that can be whatever it is, raising a glass to honoring your life. This is about us choosing to understand that we have this lifetime. We are human in this human body right here, right now. It will never be the same again. We will never be the same person that we are in this moment. We need to enjoy and soak it up and celebrate our now. Celebrate our relationship with life, our embodiedness, and this beautiful sensual experience that we're in right now with life. Where I am, spring is happening. The flowers are blooming. The air is fragrant. Give yourself permission to slow down and take this in, to watch the green leaves unfurl on the trees, to let that spring energy settle into your heart and soul. And if you're in the southern hemisphere, to watch as the energy of life goes inward, goes into this space of quietness, goes in and withdraws from the external world and goes in deeply, and give yourself permission to be there too and to celebrate the perfection of that. We have cycles for a reason. And as humans, we're very much part of the cycles of life and nature. But we often don't give ourselves permission in our current culture and our current understanding, which has become so separate and divorced from nature. We don't give ourselves permission to indulge our connection to life and nature or to celebrate it. So our work this week, if you want to call it work, how we need to be this week is to give ourselves over to blessing, celebrating, being in reverence with wonder, joy, appreciation for life, celebrating life, which ties in so beautifully with this romance with life card. Okay, how others are going to be. Card of balance. So this holding space between extremes. Continuing to find the quiet, calm, neutral space in between the extremes. Holding your center, holding your grace, holding your well-being, holding your love, holding your tongue. So this is sitting in the position about how others are going to be. And because we are the others in other people's experiences, this is important for us to pay attention to as well. But seeing this state of grace, witnessing it in each other, witnessing this choosing not to go to one extreme or the other, to make other people wrong, instead to be making choices that are congruent and resilient with us and informed by our deep connection to ourself, our appreciation for life. What do we value? What do we know is true for us? And living from that truth. We're not here to live another person's truth. We're here to live ours. And this card of balance is all about this, taking wise action, making wise choices from a place of groundedness, deep well-being, reflection, connection to our source. So this is in the position of others, looking around and appreciating how others are holding their center, holding their space. And for ourselves, when we encounter another and their words or actions may be pulling us to a polarity that is taking us off our center. Just recognizing that. Taking a deep breath before you respond, coming back to your center, dropping into your heart, and responding from a place of love. Finding that kind, central, compassionate place, knowing we're all connected. We're all going through these challenges at this time in different ways. We all have different responses. But just seeing and witnessing each other in that place, loving each other wherever we are, whatever is true, and holding our center, knowing that we don't have to meet another in their choices. They can make their choices and it's perfect. And we can stay in ours, knowing that that is perfect as well. We don't need to justify ourselves. We don't need to explain ourselves. We can just bless others and send them off with love. Trusting that they're making the best choices that they need to make for themselves. It's all about this deep connection and trust with life right now. It's really, really important that we understand that we are integral parts of life. We are the bright expressions of life. We are part of this unique dance of life. And that everyone here is also an expression of life, doing their particular dance with the divine. Once again, we're not all here to dance the same dance. We're not here to do it the same way, to have the same steps, to wear the same costumes, to have the same interactions. And that's perfect. That unique expression is so perfect. And it's so essential. And the outcome this week, we have a major arcana, the Hierophant. So this is the Pope in other decks. It can mean traditional lineages of faith, of spirituality, of tradition, of wisdom being handed down and handed through particular modalities to from one generation to the next. This sort of a continuation of a path, of a tradition, and it can mean through various many lifetimes. I think that's a very interesting thing to think that yes, we have this human form, but I believe we've been here before. We've had experiences before. We've been embodied before, which is why it's so important to celebrate the now, because it'll never come again. This nowness will never come again. We will be a different thing. We will be a different place doing something different in a different form. So celebrate the unique, beautiful expression that's you right now. The outcome, we're moving towards this energy of the Pope quality. Now, the higher octave of this card is the inner teacher, the connection to the wisdom that is within us, which is what all these traditions are based on, and at their very foundation and heart are all about, is how do we build the scaffolding in our life, in our experience, to access this wisdom, this truth. This is not an external truth. This is an internal truth. This is the connection to source that we all have, that's within all of us. And there are very, very many practices in the world that exist, that have been around for a very long time, that are there to support individuals into connecting with this aspect of themselves. Some of them have been perverted and altered over the years to make you think that you don't have any power, that the power is all outside of you, God is outside of you, and you're deeply flawed even. But I want to remind you of the higher octave meaning of this card is about our inner wisdom, our inner connection, our unique expression of divinity, the breath of life coming through us and living through us into the world. This is the outcome. This is what we're moving towards in the energy of this week. This is this energy of seeking to connect with this broader, wiser part of us and having more of this living through us all the time. Being in a constant state of conversation with our inner teacher, rather than it being something we do once a year or once a week or once a month or occasionally, bringing that spirituality, that divine consciousness and expression into our everyday lives. This understanding that we are more than our three-dimensional bodies. There is more to us than this. There's more to our selfness than just our meat suit, as a friend of mine likes to call it. We are so much more. We are God having an experience. So let's be in celebration with our experience. Let's be in a co-creative dance with our experience. Let's give thanks for all the beauty and all the wonder that surrounds us. This is the energy that we're moving towards, is more of this in our field. The more time we spend in meditation, the more time we spend connecting to nature, the more time we spend in our creative spaces, the more time we spend doing Qigong, yoga, Tai Chi, and those other practices that exist on this planet, the more time we spend in our mindful, grounded, centered connection, the easier it is to hold this connection to the broader, wiser part of us and to have it with us all of the time. So this is our spread for the week. This is what we're working towards, if you can call it work. The pleasure of being in this human form from a conscious, intentional place and co-creating with others a balanced, beautiful future full of satisfaction and well-being, knowing that that's what we're here to do, is to be deeply appreciative, thankful for, satisfied with, content, inspired. That's all of the good things that are part of this embodied experience. And we get to choose where are we putting our focus and attention. Okay, so from here, let's pull these in and we'll look at our summary card for the week. What do we need to know? Such a beautiful reading. So full of hope on this Earth Day. I hope wherever you are honoring the Earth, this beautiful planet that we get to call home. Just go outside and look at the beauty of nature, whatever form it's taking in whatever season that you find yourself. Go hug a tree. Go look at the textures of life. It's so beautiful. When we give ourselves permission to slow down, we all know what it's like to witness a sunset or a sunrise. We all know what that does for us in our spirit. We feel our connection to the divine in those moments. We know there's so much more going on than we, usually bip around allowing ourselves to do. So this Earth Day, my task for you, the work, is to go and celebrate nature. Go and honor. Go and say thank you. Thank you to the air. Thank you to the waters. If you're near a body of water, go down and put your hands in the water. Muster up a feeling of love and appreciation while your hands are in the water and just say thank you. That energy emanating from you is so powerful for helping to heal the waters on the planet. And do the same thing by taking in a deep breath of life and holding it in your body and blessing it and thanking it and letting it go. And do the same thing with the earth. Bow down and touch the earth with your bare hands and send it love and appreciation and thanks. Thank you, earth. Thank you. Blessings and healing to you, dear earth. Taking a moment to do these small sacred acts of reverence, will pull you into your body, into your now, into your connection with life so profoundly, and will enable you to start to be clearing for healing as you move through life. When you bring that loving awareness to all that you do, be it that connection to the wild, to the nature that's mothered us, to everything that we do. That intentional reverence in every moment is such a powerful gift to life. It's part of that romance that we have with life. It's how we can cultivate that romance with life and have a deeper experience that is such a beautiful blessing. Okay, my friends. We would like a summary card, our card to grow on this week. We would love a card that just sums up everything that we've looked at so that we go forward with clarity and empowerment this week. I was wondering if that was going to happen. So we get one of those dramatic cards from the deck, the Rune card. After all those beautiful thoughts, should have just left it there, I guess. Okay, the name of the card is Ruin, but please don't feel like your life is going to be ruined this week. That's not the point of this card. The point of the card is that despite whatever adversity feels like it's coming towards us, despite what we see in front of us. We have a woman bent over a child. We don't know what's going on with the child. We don't know what the situation is, but the colors are dark and it feels concerning, the card, the energy of the card. But you see that this woman is being struck by lightning in a way, I should rephrase that. She's receiving a download of powerful clarity the clarity that comes symbolically in a flash of lightning. That clear connection to source is coming down through her in her time of need. And she is able to focus with great clarity, with great intention, and with great focus on her task at hand and whatever it is that she's needing to do right there in that moment. She's easily able to avoid the distractions that are going on around her that are not important to the task that is in front of her. And so for us this week, this card summarizes our card to grow. And what do we need to know going forward? How do we summarize the energies going forward this week? Stay on task. Stay on task. Stay centered, calling for that light, that clarity, that wisdom to inform you in every moment. Don't let yourself get distracted by the meaningless words and narratives and shenanigans. There's quite a circus unfolding out there in the wide world. But what we know is true is what's happening right here, right now in our experience, which is what's going on here. Stay in your experience. Stay in your love. Stay in your dynamic. Stay in your reverence and your care for that which is in front of you in your here and now. That's your task. That's our work this week. Let all this distraction go. Stay in your heart. Stay in your now. Be in your love. Do your good work. And continue to cultivate this connection to source. Because when you have that, everything in life flows more smoothly, effortlessly, and easily. And we are more resilient. We have inspiration. And our challenges are resolved easily and effortlessly for the greater good. So that's a pretty powerful card. Stay on target, everybody. Stay in a state of love. Stay in a state of well-being. Stay in a state of grace. Creator, this is your daughter, Titania. Thank you for this opportunity to be of service, this opportunity to do this reading at this time for this group of people. I am sending divine love and light to each and every person listening to this recording now and in the future. Wherever you are an important expression of the life and light force on the planet at this time. Never underestimate the contribution that you have to make. I ask for grace and wisdom, discernment and guidance for all of us as we continue forward in this world, that we may stay on target, that we may stay clear, that we may stay connected to our broader, wiser self and make wise choices and decisions and discernments as we move through the world and we move through life, making good choices and helping all those that we meet to be in a clearer state of love and connection to all life. Because it's Earth Day, I want to send a big hello, a big thank you to our beloved Mother Earth. Thank you for continuing to put up with our nonsense. Thank you for loving us no matter what. Thank you for providing for us, for giving us the opportunity to relate to you and co-create with you in magnificent ways. Help us to wake up to our dynamic with you, to realize that we are self-aware, sovereign individuals who have choices to make, who get to ask for help, and who get to work with you, dear Mother, co-creating a beautiful life, a beautiful planet, and caring for all life here. Help us to move forward towards a beautiful vision of healing for this planet. I want to thank all those who've helped to hold this space. Thank you. Thank you for another beautiful weekly reading. Much love and light to everybody. Have a great Earth Day and have a beautiful week. I'll see you next Friday. Lots of love.